Okay, hi everybody. I'm back with a couple extra thoughts. I wanted to share with you a couple short verses and then I wanted to tell you something I was thinking about. Matthew chapter 6, starting with verse 19. Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. The eye is the lamp of the body, so if your eye is healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. Talk about spiritually, not physically. If then the light in you is darkness, how great is the darkness? No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and money. Okay, and the other one is Colossians chapter 3, verses 1 through 4. If then you have been raised with Christ, seek the things that are above, where Christ is, seated at the right hand of God. Set your minds on things that are above, not on things that are on earth. For you have died spiritually, and your life is hidden, your past life, whatever you did before knowing Christ, is hidden with Christ in God. Whatever wrongs you've done have been forgiven. They're hidden. They're just not seen anymore. When Christ, who is your life, appears, then you also will appear with him in glory. Now, my thought is this. Again, on those statues, right? They take money to buy. They take money to make. A lot of money to make. They're treasures in earth. And we're supposed to have our treasures in heaven. Now, it's not a sin to have nice things so much. But he's trying to say, put your importance on things above, not in the earth. He said, look to heaven. Put your treasures in heaven. Your heart should be in heaven. Your eyes should be towards heaven, not on the things here. Your mind should be on what God teaches. Your mind should be on God. Your mind should be on heaven and his return. Now, my thought is this. People keep saying that the destruction of the statues is a sign of communism. Yes, it is, because it's a sign of Satan's coming and him wanting to take the throne. So he has to destroy all the statues, all the false gods, and everything else that takes attention away from him before he takes his seat. Now, my thing is this. That's not the only sign of communism. For everybody to be saying, oh, no, the statues, that means communism. Yes, I understand. But there's other things. What happened in Germany, we all know. And how did it start? With ugly things that they were saying about the Jews. That's the truth. They were talking about ugly things about the Jews. Now, the Jews had forgotten their Sabbath, and they started to do business on Sundays. That's a written record. Does that mean that they deserve what happened to them? No. But they were kind of falling away from God too. Some were finding Christ and becoming Christians, and they were persecuted because of that. It was like a catch-22 for them. Either believe in God and stay Jewish, as in strict Jew, no Messiah, or accept the Messiah and be persecuted because of it. It was persecution of Christian Jews, and it was persecution of the Jews. Also, that had to do with money, treasures on earth instead of in heaven. The Germans were getting mad because they were making money. There was jealousy also, what I mentioned in the other video. Jealousy is an idol. Money can become an idol. Money for them was an idol, and it drove them to do evil things to the Jews. They were mad because the Jewish people in Germany were making so much money. They were jealous of it. In my other video, I was talking about jealousy. God says not to desire what is that of your neighbors. They were desiring what the Jews were earning. They were jealous of what the Jews were earning. And that was the very the very biggest thing, because of course economy, money, it's the root of all evil. The other thing, like I said, was the persecution, the ugliness, the ugly things they were saying, the hatred. And there were other cases too, not just in Germany, not just to the Jews. There were other groups of people that were killed because of what? Their faith, one, and two, just because of what ethnicity they were. And ugly, ugly things were said. That is the key sign right there. And that is what is happening now. A lot of hateful talk. A lot of divisive talk about race. That's the biggest thing, and we know it. Another thing is hate amongst, we all know that that's another thing. Hate within groups. We don't need to say that it's just the statues that are the key thing to tell us communism is on its way. That's not the key thing. The key thing is hatred. That's the key thing. Another thing in Germany was actually talk of, I think it was abortion or controlling of having babies. Has that not been going on for a long time? Even people calling themselves Christians signing off on it, and people who claim to be Christians and are Christians, and they fall by the wayside a little bit and have committed that error. Now, God will forgive you if you've done it. God will forgive you. You got to forgive yourself. Let that one go. You just got to let it go. You can't let your past eat yourself up. You just can't. You got to keep on going. But you can talk against it. So those are my thoughts right there. There's a lot more going on, and we know it. Remember a few months ago, they're talking about aborting babies up to 9 months. And they were signing off on that now, weren't they? Nobody was really, the Christians were against it, and some other people who are not Christians were against it. But more has angered people over the people that they can see getting harmed and the statues being harmed than upheaval over the abortion topic that was being brought up in the White House or in Congress over there with old nasty Pelosi. Anyway, so those are my thoughts right there. We need to, I felt kind of dizzy there for a minute. I don't know why. Anyway, so I guess I better go and maybe drink some water. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know my thoughts on that. That's not the only sign. That's not the only thing that we need to really be, we could be just as upset and more upset about the other goings on that are also signs of communism than the statues. And the statues, they only destroy and keep destroying because people are so upset about it, and they know that it upsets. And they know that it causes people to feel worried and fearful, of evil, because like I said in my other videos, everybody keeps saying we're doomed to repeat the past. You're not doomed if you have Jesus Christ and everything he has told us. If you have a good conscience, you're not doomed, and nobody would be doomed. Evil things have been happening because people don't have Jesus Christ. So we're not doomed. Another thing is that I mentioned in my other video, also again I'll say, as far as putting so much trust in, that's showing trust. That's putting trust in the statues. The trust in the statues, that if we have the statues, we won't repeat the past. If you're going to talk about having the statues, and they're not tearing them down, but don't go talking about it as if we need them. Say you want to have them. You're offended that they're destroying something that belongs to you. But remember that our treasures are in heaven. They're not in the statues. What matters more is human life. And that right there are signs of communism. You don't need to say, they're going after the statues. That's communism, we know. But what else is communism? Hate. That is a very big sign of communism. Hate about ethnicities, races, peoples, religions. That right there. And that is what is rearing its ugly head, and we all know it. Money, the root of all evil, and that was there in Nazi Germany, like I mentioned. Those two things right there. That's the root of all evil, and we know it. So It's been rearing its ugly head for a long time. That's not the biggest flag. The biggest flag is hate and love of money. Those are the biggest flags. So don't fall into the trap of thinking that you're doomed or that you need them. You don't need them. You want them. You like them. You have feelings about them, but you don't need them. What you need is Jesus Christ. What you need to do is love Jesus Christ more than you love anything else. Look up to heaven. Look towards heaven. Have your treasures in heaven more than treasures on earth, because rust destroys. Things don't last forever. The thieves, they break in and steal, and that's what they're doing. They're stealing them, they're breaking them, they're stealing other things. But our treasures are in heaven, and our hope and faith is in Jesus Christ and his soon return and our eternal life. And he says to love our neighbor as ourselves. That's the biggest thing. So that's what we need to be concerned about. Are there things that are going against Jesus Christ, his teachings, and love? If there is hate, that's right there. It's the biggest thing that we need to worry about in this country and in the world. Hate rearing its ugly head. Love of money rearing its ugly head and ruining everything. And there's another verse I had too marked, and I don't remember where I marked it, or I don't even know if I marked it. It said, where's my mind? Oh, man, it's just on the tip of my tongue and I forgot. Oh well, I guess I'll save that for another thought. Ugh, I hate it when I forget stuff, don't you guys? Anyway, so those are my thoughts right now. But yeah, so there are other signs out there. Jesus Christ, that's what we all need. Jesus. Jesus, 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 like that girl's been screaming in the street. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. That's what we need. Anyway, so thank you for listening to me, and have a good night, everybody.